Hello. Now look, I know I'm always going on about the fact that you should have successful, difficult conversations, and that this is really important if you want to create a high-performing team and in fact create the school that you've dreamt of leading. And I want to explain why I keep going on about this. And that answer comes from a gentleman named Tuckman. Now Tuckman came up with group formation theory, and I want to explain that to you briefly. There are 4 stages: forming, storming, norming and performing. And we have the best example of this in school every year. And I'm going to use that to explain how the theory works. So, it starts with forming. Yeah, this is when the group comes together and they get to know each other. Think about a classroom teacher meeting her class in those first few weeks and getting to know the different characters and personalities. Or in the staff room with new members of staff joining the team, and there's a lot of nice conversation going on, like, oh, my mum lives down that road, or oh yeah, my children go to that school, or oh, you know, I've got 12 guinea pigs as well. Then as we start to progress, usually towards the October half term, we move into storming. And as the name suggests, this is a time when actually we start testing the boundaries. In the classroom we start to notice children's behaviour becoming more testing, even though they've been in the school and they know the rules every single year as they move through the school. What they don't know is how you as their class teacher applies those rules. So when you say silent reading, do you really mean silent reading? Or does it mean I can whisper to the person next to me and you won't say anything? Yeah, we're testing those metaphorical boundaries, the unspoken rules. And it's the reaction we get that tells us what is and isn't allowed. The same happens with adults. So it might be that I turn up a bit late to a meeting, and if somebody, either in the meeting or later, says, Sonia, do you know what you really do? You know, we expect you to be on time to a meeting. Then I know that I can't be late. Or maybe I swear in a meeting, and the reaction tells me, is it acceptable to swear in this group? This is the storming phase. And in schools, you know, usually by the time we get to October half term, we're well and truly into that. And we get through November and Christmas comes, it's all glitter and nativity. And then we get to January. And normally by January in the classroom, the class have normed. Yeah, children know all those metaphorical boundaries are. Yeah, they know when they're overstepping the line and when they're within them. Now, as long as the class teacher's good, they will have normed by this point and behaviour has settled. We worry about any class that in January hasn't really got the behaviour nailed. Alarm bells normally start ringing. Interestingly, you can have good norms or bad norms. Yeah, so let's think about this with the adults. If I keep turning up late to meetings, and even though it annoys everybody else, so I don't pick up on that, and nobody has a word with me about it, then I may have established a bad norm in the group. I just keep coming to meetings late. Don't realise that's really disrespectful to everybody else and is actually driving them up the wall. Good norms could be that actually we all turn up on time, we all take away the actions and we all do them. Because once we've normed, we can really get on with the job of performing. And I know from my experience as a teacher, in the classroom, in the spring term, that's when it really feels like we've got the engine room of the academic year really kicking into gear. It doesn't mean we haven't performed for the previous months, but it's when things can be upped to another level. And that's largely because that social noise, those metaphorical boundaries have been established. Now, one stage is more important than all the others. And it's the reason that I keep going on about having difficult conversations really well. Because how well you storm directly links to how well your team can perform. This is the reason you need to get really good at having those tricky conversations, those conflict situations really successfully. I promise I'm not going on about it just because I like an argument. I don't, no more than the next person. But what I do really like are good, healthy, constructive relationships. And these are so crucial in a team, particularly in a school, if you want to create that school that you have always dreamt of leading and the culture that will make that happen. So, now you know why difficult conversations and having them really well is so crucial. Thank you, Mr. Tuckman. To find out how we can help your school have more successful, difficult conversations, pop along to our website www.ukheadsup.org. tuckman.com and check out our services.